Welcome, trader, to the weekly Forex recap by Admiral Markets. My name is Chris. I will take a look at the US dollar specifically versus the euro, pound, yen, and Aussie. Before we do that though, be aware that this video is intended for a global audience. It may not be suitable for everyone. Take a look at admiralmarketsglobal.com, select your country of residence, and contact an appropriate entity to find out more about that and other details. Also, trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk and may not be suitable for everyone. Therefore, please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If by continuing watching this video you agree with this disclaimer, plus you are aware of the risk involved when trading. On the list is Pound USD 1 hour chart validation, a triangle at the fib, that resistance spot, and could send price back lower in this downtrend. Because yes, price did make a big fall recently here, and price is still retracing that big impulse, that big bearish impulse. It hit the 50 fib, and that could be the turning spot. So from my point of view, break below this bottom here. Let me take a look at the price level, about 151.80. Could mean the breakout trade that I'm looking for continuation of the downtrend and bearish impulse. That is one thing I'm looking for. The target, in my opinion, is the -272 target. From to this red circle, you can see that those are the swing highs, swing lows, and the target is the -272 target at 149. If price does not break the support trend line, but instead breaks the resistance trend here of this trend, 1.8 and the 78.6 fibs are still resistance spots, and price could turn back into that downtrend from those levels as well. If I zoom in or zoom out actually to a daily chart, I'm not really expecting a break above 153.50. If price starts to pull above that area, then my analysis is in a way invalidated to a certain degree, especially if it goes above 154.40, because then it's breaking this downtrend channel that I have on the chart here on this daily chart, and price then that is not in a downtrend, breaking the channel, and there could be a bullish breakout above 154.40, a daily breakout in fact. Not that I would trade it right away. I would probably wait for a bit of a pullback before taking that trade to the upside. But there is a bullish environment, or a bullish zone, I could say. So that is my line in the sand, and basically expecting either a break here down to that target as I mentioned, or a move up and then again down from higher resistance. Only if we break actually that trend channel line, the top of the trend, would I consider that to be a bullish environment on the pound USD. In fact, not only the -272 target could be the target, price could accelerate even to the -61.8 if it really starts to show some momentum to the downside. I will continue with the other pairs in just a second, but I wanted to let you know of the great webinars that we have at Admiral Markets this week. Nenad and I are going to have various topics. Nenad, as always, on Mondays is going to show his setups with the weekly FX recap, looking at the majors, and he's also going to take a look at a stochastic system on Wednesday at 5 p.m. GMT. I myself have trendline trading on Tuesday, 7:45 a.m. GMT time, same place on Wednesday, but this time on price action. Thursday, Nenad and I take a look at early Monday versus late Friday trading. So if you're interested in maybe a bit of a different perspective on various times, take a look at the webinar on Thursday, 5 p.m. GMT. All right, this is the dollar-yen 1 hour chart, and in fact here is a bull flag being made and about to be broken. This is something that I've been monitoring actually since the very early morning, that this could be a bounce off the 38.2 fib. The confirmation that price is finishing the break of the bull, and I'm looking for a good 1 hour candle, 4 hour candle that's pushing through this trend line, resistance trend line, in fact, the top of the bull flag, and I want to close that is near the high. If break this bull flag, it could still retest, for instance, this level right in here, make maybe a mini inverted head and shoulders, or go down to the 50 fib, which also could still be a bouncing spot as well. So plenty of support here, obviously because of this big breakout that we've had already in the past. So considering that momentum, considering the slow corrective downside so far, this is all but very clear. This is momentum, this is correction right here, and looking for the next momentum to the upside, in my opinion, the target 450, which is the -272 fib target. If price does break below the 50 fib, cautious with the upside, but basically anything that stays above this 88.6 fib is still in bullish territory. Any of these fibs, in fact, could be a bouncing spot. All right, next on the list, AUDUSD is kind of in a triangle formation looking at this 4-hour at this particular tier, but now it has new support trendline and a new resistance trendline. Basically, this chart pattern looking for a break either to the downside below support or to the upside above resistance. We can see that a bit better here on the daily chart. You can see that for me, the breakout level is the support trend line. Breaks below that support trend line, there could be a space down to the minus 272 target at 66.50. Or if it breaks above the resistance trend line, I can see the potential, especially if it breaks above 71.75, for a breakout to a higher resistance zone, which is basically these bottoms here, right, at about 75, 75.50, as you can see with these fibs as well. So that could be a breakout trade to the upside up to that resistance. And there's also, if we connect these two tops, with even a nice resistance trend line of this particular corrective pattern. So a move up to roughly this zone would seem likely to me. So that's how I view the AUDUSD. And last but not least, the EURUSD at this moment, obviously in a downtrend, and the price consolidating our chart, going sideways with some ups and downs. I'm actually looking for a downtrend continuation, but I'm a bit, and I'll show you why. It has everything to do with the daily chart. If you put a fib from here to here, it becomes clear that price is respecting. Price stopped at the minus 272 target at 109.9ish, and then again at 107. You can see here clearly respecting those fib targets. So there could be a potential for a bigger bounce at this minus 61.8 target. From that point of view, I would like to see a break below this bottom. Know that the minus 61.8 target is perhaps out of the way, and there could be a fall down to the next target, the minus 100 target at 104.50, which is also equal to the bigger bottom and this year's current low point of the year, right, which is the blue circle right there on the left. So there could be a break below 107 down to 105, 104.50, and then 104.50, 105 could be a big bouncing spot yet again. For a big weekly breakout, I would really need to see price break below 104.50, to be honest. Otherwise, it could still be a double bottom. So yes, breakout below 107 down to 104.50, but below 104.50, it would have to go below 104.50 to get a weekly breakout. If in the meantime, if it doesn't break below this 1 hour bottom, because it is a big target, right, and we do see some potential support here, then I could see price maybe making a potential rally above the trend line, but that rally has a limited scope. Why? Because we're bumping into a big zone right in here. That is a big resistance zone. But there's another reason as well, a fib to be precise, and we can see the hour chart, or maybe even the 4-hour chart a bit better if we put a fib from here to here, and then go back to the hour. We can also see price stopped at the 23.6 fib, at the 38.2 fib, and also might stop then at the 50 fib, which is equal to that zone that I already talked about as resistance. So I would be looking to short it from 108.75, just like I would be interested in shorting it below 106.70. Once again, below 106.70, I am looking for breakout trades on lower time frames, like 50-minute charts. I'm not going to jump in the short right away, but if it does move up to the 50 fib, I would think about actually just taking the trade right at that spot, putting a stop loss, for instance, above the 61.8 at about 109.30ish, and aiming at 105ish, as I already said, 105.25 perhaps, 105.30, something like that as a target, and trail stopping that as well. So that's my plan at the moment. Upside, really not interested in any trade unless it breaks above 109.30, really hook back and show that it's actually going to make a higher low here, and then the environment could be different, and then we'll start to think about a bullish zone or bullish bounce. Until that moment, this is in a bearish environment. The other thing that could be possible as well is a bounce off 104.50 or 105. That is something I might monitor too. It's against the trend, but could be using that support. So those are some ideas floating in my mind. For the moment, though, downside trades seem to be more interesting. So that's the euro dollar, pound USD as well. Looking for downside break could be an interesting trade. Dollar yen upside breakout potentially, or the 50 fib bounce as well. And the AUDUSD, just keeping an eye on those trend lines and basically not right away trading to break, but when it does break through those trend lines and price is showing good momentum with solid candle closes near high in upside or near low in downside, then I would consider those market orders or pullbacks on lower time frames, like an hourly chart, for instance. All right, so that is basically just giving the zone here what I'm interested in trading, but not taking pending orders right below those tops or bottoms, but would zoom into lower time frames to catch those. That is different with, for instance, the pound USD. If it breaks, I would take the break right away because we're looking at an hourly chart, good momentum to the downside. So I'm more confident here in a breakout to the downside. Well, I'll take a look at Admiral Markets in social media, and also hope to see you in the Admiral Markets webinars of this week, next week, and perhaps the week after. Wish you all good trading. Talk to you soon. Cheers.